we have been reporting basically for the past 3 years on how Republicans in the states, particularly since the 2010 midterms, have rolled back abortion rights further and faster and more radically than at any time since Roe versus Wade was decided 40 years ago. But you know what? Roe versus Wade still is the law everywhere. And so in this era of Republican governance, about, once a week or so at the stroke of noon, some judge somewhere in the country has to do what a federal judge did today in North Dakota. Quote, the state of North Dakota has presented no evidence to justify the passage of this troubling law. The state has extended an invitation to an expensive court battle over a law restricting abortions that is a blatant violation of the constitutional guarantees afforded to all women. The United States Supreme Court has unequivocally said that no state may deprive a woman of the choice to terminate her pregnancy at a point prior to viability. North Dakota House Bill 1456 is clearly unconstitutional under an unbroken stream of United States Supreme Court authority. And therefore, the court grants the plaintiffs' motion for an injunction. Federal judge today blocking the law passed by North Dakota Republicans to ban abortions after 6 weeks, which is something you obviously cannot do in this country. But still, this is what Republicans do. They do stuff like this all the time, and it gets blocked all the time. In Kansas, Republicans passed trap laws to shut down clinics there. That law is blocked by the courts. In Ohio, Republicans passed laws to restrict medication abortions there. That law is blocked by the courts. In Oklahoma, their Republicans passed their own laws to restrict medication abortions. That law is blocked by the courts and headed to the U.S. Supreme Court. In Mississippi, the Republican trap law to close down the last clinic in Mississippi is blocked by the courts. In Alabama, the Republican trap law to close down Alabama clinics is blocked by the courts. In Wisconsin, the Republican trap law to close down Wisconsin clinics is blocked by the courts. In Georgia, the Republican ban on abortions at 20 weeks is blocked by the state courts. In Idaho, the Republican abortion ban in that state is blocked by a federal court. In Arizona, the Republican abortion ban is blocked by a federal court. Republicans have long wished that Roe versus Wade did not protect women's right to have an abortion in this country. But something changed in the past few years, and they stopped just wishing for that and advocating for that. And instead, they just started behaving as if that were not true. And so once a week now, a court strikes down what they're doing. There are 4 states in this country where there is only one clinic that does abortions in the whole state. North Dakota right now is one of those states. The clinic in North Dakota is called the Red River Women's Clinic. It's in Fargo, and we visited that clinic in January. Producer Rebecca Dryden spoke to the clinic director about what it is like to be the one and only clinic in the whole state, and to know that the Republicans in the legislature are doing everything they can to try to end access to legal abortion in your state by shutting you down.
Any time when the legislature meets, they absolutely know there's only one clinic. They target it. The legislature targets us just as much, and they have a lot more power and clout to make things difficult for us. And so in this next legislative session, we think a personhood bill is going to pass, which would basically outlaw abortion. And then somehow that would have to be tackled and fought against. And being the only clinic also would make us the ones that have to take on those challenges. That's the other big kind of downside, is that when you are the only clinic, you're the one who has to step up and fight the battles and take on the challenges to do those, to fight against the legislative actions.
That was in January. Since then, the Republican legislature in that state passed a ban on abortions at 6 weeks, which is for many women before they even know they are pregnant. That is the ban that the federal judge blocked today. This afternoon, Tammy Kromenacher from the Red River Women's Clinic tweeted a link to the federal court's ruling and said, relieved and pleased. What we are seeing today in North Dakota in terms of a judge having to step in and say, you're kidding, right? This is not even close to constitutional. That is happening all over the country, repeatedly. The single most important legislative priority of the Republican Party in the era of Obama is a legislative priority that is illegal everywhere in this country. But that is not stopping them.